a game on Bank that was full of mistakes from both squads. But one thing I want to highlight for all the Vitality fans out there, because I know there's quite a few of them, Aphux, their new player that used to play not long ago on Oplon, has played very well when they were at the Six Cup in France, the French Nationals, and they got to the semifinals where they inevitably lost. But that roster, as shaky as it looks, is actually not too shabby. Will it be able to face off against one of these two teams? We'll get to see later on, but we have our maps. Oregon, Bank, Consulate. You have to excuse that. There's just so much to comprehend and to talk about here. It can be overwhelming.
This is a really tight play day, I think, we have for all of the teams. Vitality, a weakened Pro League team, ENCE, a re-merging Challenger League team, or Pro League team, now a Challenger League team, and Team Empire, some just super strong okay, wow, okay, that surprises me.
I wouldn't put it, I would probably reverse it.
Yeah, okay, so I understand that if you're going, if you're coming at this from a position of not having done any research on the teams leading into this match, I can understand that. Team Empire, as I discussed, a relatively unknown squad, and sure, a powerhouse right now, but people don't really know them. And ENCE, on the other hand, one of the longest competing teams in Rainbow Six, you know, having been to almost every single LAN, and it makes sense why they would win that vote.
Yeah, it's just... I don't know how to say this. They've just had on and off days, and that's something that ENCE has been characterized with. Even when they played as Sisu back in the day, it's just sometimes they were absolutely dominant, and just sometimes they felt flat on their face. But they'll start off with a Capitao ban, one of the extremely rare ones, and I understand why. Oregon, especially those laundry and even top floor bunk attacks, very effective with the Capitao. This leaves Team Empire to ban the Lion, to some extent must ban, I guess. I don't know. A lot of teams have been going through that in Europe, that's for sure. First defender will be Mira. There you go. Nothing out of the ordinary. And then ENCE, they have the choice at the end here. Do they want to remove a Pulse? Do they want to remove a Smoke? Or a Maestro and an Echo? That's usually what happens. And that'll be the Echo out of play. So no Yokais. Makes a lot of sense. Still, the Maestro very strong. Smokes are going to be very good. However, the Capitao is not here. And so how many times have we talked about how strong it is to position those smokes perfectly with the Capitao?
Yeah, Capitao, absolutely a very powerful attacking operator on Oregon. Allows you to just forgo clearing the ADSs and get the utility you need down where you need it. The precision combined with the fact that the Capitao bolts will bypass the Jaeger ADS, which is the only real anti-throwable operator in the game.
Yep.
It's just such a powerhouse, and both teams will lose out not having him. But of course, ENCE, the one who banned Capitao, they are the team who has practiced more without him going into this map. Important to note that Team Empire did beat End Gaming 6-0 on this map, so this is definitely going to be a pretty strong one for the Russians.
Now, for people that have not watched that match, again, even though it was a flat shutout from Team Empire, I always recommend going back and rewatching those matches because you get to see how it was done. Yeah. And the way that Empire did it was very interesting. Their takes into tower were extremely efficient. There was nothing that could stop them. And it seems like they were always
10 seconds to go.
Following one another. We talk about this a lot with certain Latin American play styles, where there's always drones in front of the players that are coming in that are designated entry fraggers. And Empire just take it to a whole different level. Their communication levels are absolutely insane. And I hope that we get to see that because in their entirety, the entirety of this season in Challenger League, and even at the R6 Euro Cup finals in Italy, they were doing the same thing. And Joystick, we mentioned it before, we mentioned it again, that highlight fragging player.
Yeah, so if there's one player to take a look at on Team Empire, it's Joystick. And he will get the very first frag of this series. And that's a pretty good start for Empire in this round. He's the sort of player that people point a finger at him and say, if you can shut down Joystick, then you're going to cripple Empire. And, you know, it's not that simple. It really isn't. But he's such a powerful player, and he really just puts that thought in your head. If we can deal with him, we'll be fine.
And that's the effect of one scary player can have. The thing is, as you mentioned, it obviously is much more complicated than just that. There's a lot of teamwork that revolves around enabling a player like him to show off his skills. And we saw that at LAN, we see it online, and you know, he's going to start it off here. There's very good timing. Tower clears are very impressive by Empire.
Yeah, and I have to say there's a level of confidence, I think, in Joystick's play that allows him to be as lethal as he is. I mean, we saw Gomfi playing in Tower. He was playing pretty default. He wasn't being, Joystick was not being droned in. He did not know the exact location of Gomfi. He just committed to the peak and landed his shot. And it's that simple. Sometimes players can struggle with that. You can see Karzaka trying to land the grenade onto Boonsey, and damage will be done, but not enough to cripple. We will have lost the Habana as well, so Uno's position in Tower seemingly very powerful at this moment in time. That's a poor flank hold for the attack. Allowing Uno to retake Tower is a mistake, but Joystick will correct that mistake.
You see how it takes the angle slowly to not allow Uno to get a full body shot on him, and there you go. That's the commitment and the confidence in the fight, even for a highlight frag player such as Uno. And Joystick will get yet another one. That's the 3 kills in this first round. Scyther will get one more as he opens up the site, and it's all onto Shate, of course, the world champion, in the back watching the armory corridor. And the fuser will go down from the IQ Shepherd. Good peek from Shate by Joystick again. Round 1, 4 kills. Joystick is just, my God.
Absolutely on fire. You know, you gotta imagine he would have gotten the ace if Scyther hadn't managed to get one in the site. That's really how that round felt, because every single time there was a problem that ENCE were presenting Team Empire with, Joystick was there and he solved that problem. Oh, what? Somebody roaming a tier 3 on Tower?
Hey, Joystick.
It's a Joystick. Uno retakes Tower after the flank hold from Team Empire fails. It's a Joystick, you know, and then finally 2 entries pushing back into the site. Joystick. So it's just, you know, there's not much to say about that round other than we always talk about how Ash is one of those operators that only certain players are allowed to play in this meta, because only certain players can frag out with Ash and really put her to the best use. Joystick is one of those players.
He really is one of those few players, but ENCE has that potential as well in Uno and Gomfi.
Yeah.
So maybe when we switch around to the attacking side, we'll see a bit of that, but it seems like ENCE struggled quite a bit there. Even though they were taking their engagement in a correct fashion, it seems like every inch that you give Joystick, even in terms of line of sight in an engagement, he will take it and be able to find extra hits on you where you can't do anything.
Now, of course, it's not all Joystick on
There's a lot of teamwork around it to enable him to play like that.
Exactly. But at the same time, that last round, I mean, there's not much else to talk about other than Joystick. So in this round, we'll see what ENCE has up their sleeves to try and win the top floor as they go here the 2nd time in a row. They're really sticking to their guns here. Can be a big risk at times to repeat the same site after losing it. On Oregon, though, there aren't a lot of options. You're going to have to go top floor. You need to successfully defend top floor. Otherwise, you're really risking your position. Joystick going to clear out 1.5 ADSs there at T3 of the tower. And will also start applying a lot of pressure through the windows. Could actually land a shot here on one of his opponents, but will miss out on the opportunity. Gomfi takes down one player. That's Shock. The 2nd time, the first death on Team Empire, and the worst possible operator too. The only hard destructor.
Yeah, Joystick though will open up the bottom floor here, as this time it seems like ENCE have gotten it together. But the run out, no! Uno will get shot down to the mute. Unable to use his utility, will get shot down. And Gomfi is still alive on the tower. Oh my God, no, they're gonna do it again. So here's something that Empire do quite consistently, is that once they know that there's still one ADS, or at least half an ADS in, they'll pop one breaching round into the top and then follow it up immediately, like half a second later, with a frag grenade that bounces into the tower and kills the Jaeger. Here, we didn't get to see that, but if we continue with it, I really hope we do, because I've seen them do it like 3 times, and it was absolutely amazing level of communication.
Unfortunately, Joystick seems to have used both of his breaching charges, and he will die to Gomfi. That right there is a clear read from ENCE. They understood what was going on, and they've seen that strategy you were just explaining before. They know how to counter it. Karzeka's going to take down Gomfi, though. Finally is the word that I think best describes that, as it took a whole 2 minutes to clear out the Jaeger. Gomfi's job was done successfully, and quite so at that. Even the loss of Uno for free really isn't a high price to pay for such success on that roam.
Scyther looking all the way down, and close to finding the angle. Unfortunately, there's a few metal bars in the way. Just going to top in a couple of lifelines inside of the site just to make sure. Of course, remind you these are Gzmok mines, so they can insta-impact and show you if there's anybody in the back.
It's important to note that the ADSs, all 3 being placed in tower, means that there's free reign for all projectiles from the attacking team in the actual site. Gas canisters, though, will be coming out to delay the push on the north windows, and Wilkie takes down Scyther, who attempted to vault in through the west. Boonsey onto Karzeka, and it's all up to Shepard, who will lose out to Wilkie. ENCE take their first round.
There you go, back and forth in the second round. It seems like in the entirety of this round, there was so much pressure put on ENCE. Every single time there's something happening, there's something changing around from Team Empire. They seem to always have a player or two that are trying to pressure their opponents to force an aggressive response, and that's what happened early on with Uno. That dive, it happened a few times in the past, and it rarely has been successful with ENCE. If I'm playing Empire, I want to change things around, or playing against them. I want to change things around in my strategy, but I also don't want to go too much in quote-unquote balls to the wall exercise.
Yeah, I mean, we saw there, I think, quite clearly that ENCE were directly countering the tower clear they've seen from Team Empire, the one that you described. And that makes sense, considering, again, there was a match that Team Empire played on Oregon not too long ago against Endgaming, and there's a lot to be said about the study that can be put in on matches that are in such close proximity to this one.
I think Joystick put nothing less than 14 frags on the board. Actually, not only that, he went 14-0.
Jeez.
14-0.
No death. You know, that gives you so much confidence too. I can, when you're playing, and no matter what the situation is, when you're playing, and if let's say you go 8-0 or 7-0, even if you don't get too many kills, when you don't die in Siege, like it just instills in you this absolute confidence that you can win anything.
Just because in Siege, when you die, it's over for you that round. You have to sit back and relax.
And you wait.
Yeah, whereas if you don't wait, you're always actively moving, actively doing something.
Yeah.
You keep that pressure going, you keep that blood pumping, and that's something that, you know, rare other anything can replicate, but especially in competitive play where all the time your heart is pumping. You always want to win. You always want to make sure you're getting higher and higher up in those standings. And what better matchup than this to really show who can keep it pumping for the longest possible, really.
Yeah. So here we go. Droning out tower. Once more, Empire choose to take tower as their primary clear. Clearly not very focused on the west side, as we see some teams often be. Uno inside a meeting hall is going to be one of the initial fights for these roam clears. Joystick, though, has the drop already open and will cut off the rotation. I'm not sure what the thought process was there for ENCE. The drop was open from the defense's side, and Joystick just took the opportunity presented to him.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You cannot give him opportunities like that. It just cannot happen. You see Empire just trying to clear things out. There's the hatches that are still soft in the meeting hall, so all these can be opened, though the Habana will be the one to open. That flash will get thrown in. The mute, he's but no! What? Joystick, the reversal! Shate, what are you doing? Oh no!
What a mistake from the world champion himself. Gomfi will refrag onto Karzeka, but he gets downed by Joystick, and a pistol kill for Joystick! Holy, what is going on? It's all up to Boonsey now, the single anchor, and he has got to feel so very alone right now. He's only got 3 toxic babes to comfort him, but it's not going to be much of a consolation in this situation. being sprayed at from construction. The shotgun blast on the Shepherd. He's evened it out somewhat in 2 1-on-2, but Joystick once more shutting down Boonsey, and Team Empire take the round.
That's a Joystick ace. That was a Joystick ace.
Wow.
That was a Joystick. I cannot believe it. Not only did he play it perfectly, but he was enabled by his opponents.
Yeah, there were a lot of mistakes there made by ENCE. If we look back, I mean, it all started with Uno being caught in a rotation because the attic drop down is open. Joystick did not open that drop down. The defenders did. ENCE did. They opened the attic drop and then didn't play attic.
Can we ask our beautiful observer Marcio to flash that scoreboard for just a second? Maybe. He's got 9 kills in 3 rounds.
And if I'm not mistaken, that was 1 death. So very impressive for the individual Joystick.
There you go.
To 4K on the first round, a 5K on this round. While he didn't get any kills in the second round, that's still very... you can't take it away from him how impressive that is. But yes, lots of mistakes being made by ENCE. The initial rotation from Uno being caught out like that, to be expected. Gomfi giving away his presence inside of Kitchen and then not rotating off of the angle. He played in Kitchen, but he was still actively on the angle while reloading. He could have gone somewhere to stay out of Joystick's line of sight. And then the misses from Shate. He positioned himself on the drop down specifically to kill someone playing the angle that Joystick was playing, and Shate missed. Inside of Meeting Hall, the entrance, losing a pistol fight to Joystick up close. You cannot be doing that. I mean, yeah, it was an ace from Joystick, but also it was a lot of mistakes being made by ENCE to allow that. As you said, enabled by ENCE.
Yeah, and that's a problem. I'm pretty sure that both Protax and Sua, the manager and analyst / coach for ENCE, are watching this with their blood pumping as well. And Protax has said this a few times in the past, especially during qualifiers for big events, and obviously Pro League qualifiers being one of them. Sometimes for the coach, it's even more of a nerve-wracking thing than it is for the players. And Kajeka will land the first one in Uno yet again. Aggressive plays not paying out. Why? You're doing them solo. You can't do that against Empire.
Yeah, you know, I'm going to be honest, as soon as I saw the Bandit breaking that window, I was thinking to myself, oh, Joystick's going to get another frag. But it was Karzeka this time. It doesn't matter who's there to do it. If you present these opportunities, Empire will capitalize. Scyther onto Shate, who is peeking Construction Hall. What are you doing, Shate? Truly puzzling choices being made by the defense. Gomfi inside a Meeting Hall, trying to hold on as long as possible. He's just trying to do his job. He's just trying to delay, but he's really caught out of position there. Good droning work from Team Empire, allowing for Joystick to entry frag onto the Jaeger, leaving just the 2 anchors after the 3 roamers are felled. Unsi and Wilkie in a 2 versus 5.
I don't understand this. The Capitao was banned specifically by ENCE, and then they just roam around with all their utility. Everything is just gone, and Joystick will take yet another one out of their misery. Wilkie's all on his own. He's Guzmotat as well from Scyther on the Zosha, and the rush right into the closet. No, Wilkie will find the kill, and he sprays her second. Scyther will go down, but Shock is ready. And Wilkie will go down, coming in from the back. It seems like Empire, the instant they have a hold and a way to enter into the site, they always have the flank held in for the second side of the attack. And that's what I don't understand. Again, I will repeat it. ENCE, you banned Capitao. This means that your anchor play is even stronger. Why, oh why do you choose to put 3 players in meeting and then every single time be left with nothing on the site?
Yeah, 3 roamers there was truly a curious decision, but the main thing for me is how all over the place they were. They were disjointed. You know, it was we had Gomfi in Meeting Hall, we had Uno on the west side of the building, and we had so many people. I mean, Shate he wasn't really roaming, I guess. He was peeking construction hall. But my point here is that these three aggressors on the defense were nowhere near each other.
Yes.
Nowhere near. They were in their own little worlds, trying to fight their own little fights, and you cannot be doing that. Let me explain why. Team Empire, they are right now fragging out, and Joystick especially, sure. But at no point are they doing it as themselves, as individuals. Okay, let me give you an example. Joystick was playing just to your right of your screen right now, next to that window into the hallway where you see the Evil Eye placed. He was on the other side of that window. Uno breaks the window next to him. I'm thinking to myself, Joystick's gonna get another frag. I mean, I said it when it happened, but he didn't. Karzeka was there to support him. No matter what, Team Empire have support in play. And the one round where ENCE managed to get a win, Empire lost, was due to a lack of support. And that was due to, yes, ENCE's aggression paying off. But it was honestly a little bit of luck allowing for that to happen. And you cannot be relying on luck. You need to have a more, I think, airtight strategy that involves teamwork.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that Empire have, and they're showing off. And yeah, for your average viewer that's watching right now is just seeing Joystick on top of the board. That's not the whole story. That's, again, there's there's 4 other people, the support staff, the enablers that make him do what he does just by relieving pressure so he can focus on one specific task, which is murder the ever-living lights out of the opposing team.
Yeah, Joystick is, to an extent, one of the European-esques. You know, it's definitely one of those players that he stands out and he frags, but it's because his team allows it. Speaking of frags, Karzeka and Joystick, 1 for each. Joystick narrowly avoiding this angle with Woki. This could go either way, to be honest, but Joystick's going to drone it out to be thorough. This is smart, not committing himself to any unnecessary angle. Gonfi with a nice frag onto Karzeka. Uno takes down Shock. There's still 1 repelling on the north windows, and Uno could get that kill, but it seems that Joystick has come off that and understanding. What is this? The diffuser's being planted just inside west window. Scyther takes down Wilkie, and now it's a retake for the 2 roamers. Joystick will not go. What? Joystick turns on Uno. Absolute destruction. Gonfi will get 1 from the junk tower, and he's got a very lit Ash to deal with as well as Shepard. But the run out is going to be extremely difficult to pull off, and he will fail in the attempt. I was just in the seconds about to say Joystick dies to Uno, but it didn't happen. What a turn and what a round for Team Empire. ENCE had it in the bag, but they weren't holding west window.
They had the Maestro, they had 2 dead players. You have the information. Why aren't you looking in? Why don't you have info on the player that just went in? No smokes, no nothing. Went for a default plant by a big window. It's just, it is puzzling, and oh my.
You know,
that 180.
And that's the thing. Wow, okay. First of all, ENCE wasn't watching big window. They were not watching the main push. But the thing is, it wasn't the main push. Team Empire's main push was north windows, and they locked that up. ENCE were on top of the north windows.
But then they left the site.
But Empire, this is the most the thing to me to highlight here is how impressively quick Empire rotated to a west window take. They were immediately moving over, and we didn't even catch it. That's the thing. It was so fast that we didn't get to see it on our screens because the action was still going on in north windows when Empire made that rotation. That is thinking on your toes to a level that we don't often see.
Honestly, like, I was questioning all of this 2 days ago, looking back at the VODs, and I'm like, would Empire actually be able to do this at a pro league level competition? And honestly, the more I see it, the more I'm afraid for any team that comes across Empire in pro league if they do qualify.
Bold prediction, they're going to qualify. Now, I don't know if they're going to beat ENCE or if they're going to beat Vitality. But
I
I'm
don't
jumping
think
on.
anything can stop them right now.
I'm jumping on the Team Empire bandwagon because they have looked extremely strong through Challenger League, and they are already looking very strong here against ENCE.
If you're watching right now, invest in Team Empire stocks because those are definitely going up once they hit it hard. But hey, we said that about E-Gang, and that didn't happen. So maybe.
And they are right now, I think, one of the strongest Eastern European teams,
100%.
period. I mean, for a long time it was ENCE who was one of the most Eastern, if we're just looking at geographically. But, you know, Team Empire, I think, really bringing a lot of pride to their region. It's important to know.
I will remind you that Team Empire are the Russian champions, even with the new season that is live and has been for the past few weeks. And Joystick yet again. This is he does this kitchen peek so many times, and he gets the first one from the dining hall, and that's Zofia. That's Gonfi again removed. Not only is it a star frag player on the squad, but also a ton of utility.
Yeah.
Zofia brings so much to the table. Losing her like that just for free is definitely not a great start for your team. And ENCE are just completely frozen. They don't know what to do.
Uno is expecting the refrag to walk into his crosshairs. Shate has doubled up on this, in fact. They really want Joystick dead, but he's not going to go quietly. Karzek is also there to support Joystick. Often the one player positioned so closely to Joystick and usually gets those proximity frags really on top of things in that way. The phone call from Dokabi, though, will disrupt Team Empire's roam. Joystick calling out and spraying onto the Maverick inside of the hallway. Shate, who has eaten a lot of damage, not only from bullets, but also from Legion traps. If anything, these roamers are successful in wasting time, but Uno will finally get the frag onto Joystick, which is absolutely huge. Though, we are at the 40-second mark, and there's not much time left for these attackers to work with. Karzeka also somehow still alive. He managed to make it back to the top floor. Uno will take down Scyther. That's one more of the anchors gone, so an excellent frag for Uno. Shate has been down by Karzeka. Shepard also will get a kill onto Boonsy. So a 3 versus 2. Wilkie and Uno both being slowed down, but it's a flurry of kills for Team Empire, and they will take the round in the span of a couple seconds there.
Even there at the end, you can see the disparity between Empire and ENCE. ENCE on the attack, not knowing how to react. Empire reacting before the play is even done.
I mean, there's so much to look at there from Team Empire. ENCE.
I wish we could just slow it down and look at every round for the next half hour.
Can we pause for a second? ENCE, they cleared out the bottom floor. Their entire focus was bottom floor. But how much time did it take them? It took them so much. It took them almost the entire round.
And the Bandit still escaped.
Yeah, and the Bandit escaped. The clasp on the bottom floor was not absolute from ENCE. On top of that, in the dying seconds of the round, Team Empire retook downstairs, and it ended up being the final nail in the coffin, allowing Team Empire to take that round. And I don't know how else to put that. As soon as ENCE seems like they have ground, whether on defense or attack, Team Empire somehow manages to find purchase on the same ground and beat out ENCE.
One thing I want to highlight, not only in terms of nationality, but also in the way that things play out. Now, Karzeka is the only Estonian player on the team. He's the Estonian Pro League, well, potentially Pro League player, actually. But if you see the way that they're running it, Empire, every time we saw Joystick, who was near him?
Karzeka. It's always Karzeka.
Every single time. And who's near him? The IGL is near him. He's doing the calls, and he protects his most valuable player. That is just absolute command at a different level.
Yeah, and it also allows Karzeka as an IGL to frag out more than you would expect him to. Because the IGL role is typically one of those roles that really puts you in the back. You know, like Wilkie, for example, is the IGL for ENCE, and he's always kind of struggled to get as many frags as his teammates because he plays a very hands-on type of role where he is really, truly leading his team. But because Karzeka sits in the circumference, just the surrounding area, the proximity of Joystick, he's enabled to get kills because Joystick is drawing all of the attention. We saw it in the last round, where Joystick was roaming downstairs. ENCE really wanted him dead. They were starting to clamp down on him inside of Kitchen, and Karzeka is there not being monitored. He did some damage. He got away scot-free. He didn't get any kills there, but it's a good example.
Well, Karjeka is still in the back here by the kids' dorms. Of course, not having the Capitao really doesn't help you in this position. And the fact that ENCE did not use that ban to their advantage in the first half, it really is puzzling. Karjeka sprinting in. More damage done to Uno, but Shate takes quite a bit, and Joystick will finish him off. Karjeka with one more on to Uno, the second control, the Scorpion Evo. Joystick one more as Boonsy's all on his own, and yet again, so far away. And he ran, and there's not much to say. Boonsy all on his own in the classroom. 4 players left alive from Team Empire, and he has to hope for something, because this site, it's not going to be taken anytime soon. Shepard takes him out, and that is map 1, 6-1. And yeah, sometimes we say, you know, you look at the scoreline and it doesn't really tell the whole story. Well, this is one of the times where indeed it tells the whole story.
Yeah, that was absolute dominance from Empire. I think if not for one round, it would have been.
I just want to see the scoreboard.
Yeah, let's see what we can see here.
16-3 in 7 rounds.
Very impressive.
A professional play against ENCE.
So okay, so here's one takeaway. All right, and if you're an ENCE fan, first of all, that's probably a lot of you guys considering the community poll.
Oh yeah.
But just to instill you with a little bit of confidence here, that was yes a dominant match or map for Team Empire, but we know from history that is one of Empire's favorite maps. Oregon is somewhere where Empire performs. They really perform. 6-1 against on Oregon in their previous match. Now we're going on to map number 2, which is Bank. And what was the score for ENCE versus Train Hard on Bank? It was 6-1. Absolute domination for ENCE. So
you know, there's this EU meme that goes around that I've been looking into. Not only, you know, there's not in EU we don't always have Fabian memes or matchmaking memes. There's also memes regarding Team Empire, and the biggest one of them is you will lose against Team Empire on any map, but you will beat them every time on Coastline. And here that was in selection. Empire, and I know someone like Meepy likes to say this a lot, but they won the ban phase. They have the maps that they're comfortable on, and the first 2 are maps that they're really good on. And with the way that ENCE played, even when they were playing in the basement, they always tried to roam. And just when you want to roam with 3 players and you have your IGL near you to support you, I think ENCE should be watching how Empire do it, because they actually huddle together. They play in a way where they still have support from a top floor or something, whereas with the way that ENCE were playing is just players are just there.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. It's the ENCE roamers were just people standing in a location attempting to emit their presence, you know, attempting to make something happen by themselves.
They're not afraid of you. Empire are not afraid of you.
And that never worked. Why didn't it work? Because Empire has the very, very old but classic roam clear of somebody drone the Ash in. The Ash will take care of things if you give him the information. And then Karzeka's the support player right next to the Ash. So if the Ash ever fails, there's backup. And the one round ENCE won is where Karzeka and Joystick got separated for just a little bit of time and got eliminated 1 by 1. So we'll see if that will change here on Bank. Again, this, if you're an ENCE fan, is the map that ENCE can take. This is their best map in this series that I can see between Oregon Bank and Consulate. So ENCE is going to be comfortable here, but so will Empire in all likelihood. This is, if anything, going to be the pitched battle of this series.
Remind you that ENCE, there's very few Pro League lands that they've ever missed. They've missed Atlantic City Finals, and they missed the 6th Major, even though Wilkie was there, and actually most of the players were just there.
Yeah.
But they weren't playing in them. That's the 2 events that they missed, and of course they're going to miss Rio now.
Yeah, and of course that's not counting the dream hacks.
Yes.
You know, we're not talking. We're talking about majors here.
Yeah, they only went to 1 in Valencia,
Mm-hmm.
and I assume they're going to DreamHack Winter. I'm not sure yet, but that's all for ENCE. That's a ton of pedigree behind them, and they've been to every single thing outside of those. Team Empire, in their short lifespan, they've been able to not only win the Russian championship, but be on top for the second season of it, win CCS EU, and win the Euro Cup, where Penta Vodafone Giants were playing there as well, as Endgaming and Trust Gaming.
So it's very important to note what we just witnessed. ENCE are on to Team Empire, and they have banned out the strongest operator on Team Empire's lineup, Ash.
The thing is, this is another one of those quote-unquote memes that the young people like to call. Ash and Jaeger, maybe you should actually ban both of them against Empire.
Yeah, and yeah, okay, sure, it's sensible, but also...
But you're not going to ban the Jaeger.
But yeah, and here's the thing. I'm going to be honest. You can stick joystick on a different operator that's a 3-speed with a decent gun. I mean, that's probably what we're going to see happen once Empire get to attack. But I understand why you're banning Ash, because it just seems like it turns him into a superhero. You know, he's running around the map just destroying people. And if you can't handle it, get rid of it. That's a smart tactical ban from ENCE. As much as it seems like a meme, you know, every time we see Ash banned or Jaeger banned, people always get memey about it. It's not. It's really, that is a smart...
That's when, like, you know, my God, this guy
we can't handle
running all over us. Just what? That's why the bans exist, by the way. You know, you either don't want to handle it or you don't want to even think about that operator.
And if anything, I'm super happy we got to see Ash banned. Because, you know, honestly, seeing frickin' Lion all the time, and then, you know, it's a hard destructor. Look at that. That's crazy. You know, no, I mean, seeing counterbans specific to one person, I love it.
I want to hard back just at the first map. You know, it's Oregon. Capitao was a strong operator on it. ENCE banned the Capitao, and then they choose to roam instead of holding closer to the site because there's no Capitao to separate them or to burn any one of them out.
Yeah.
I really have to question that decision-making there. But, you know, here, of course, it's going to be available. He's been a strong player. I've seen these posts every now and then, and it's just this time everybody kind of realized, hey, Capitao is really good. He goes through ADSs.
Yeah.
And his Para 308 is a fantastic rifle to especially tap fire if you're into that.
I mean,
it's great.
I remember when he was first announced and all the professional players were, like, sitting in a lobby. We're all like... We were looking at his functionality, and we're like, wow, this is so overpowered. This is crazy overpowered. And then there was this big uproar about him, like, you can't release this operator. Because this, mind you, this is back when DLCs were still a new thing, and there weren't crazy overpowered new operators all the time.
That was the third DLC.
Yeah, it was a new thing to have crazy overpowered operators released with every DLC. And there was this big uproar, and then he came out, and he had nades, and he was crazy powerful. They removed the nades, and then people stopped playing him. And then he just kind of like went under the radar for a long time until he got a recoil buff to his para, and now people play him.
And I think because of, as well, the fact that he lost the grenades, everybody were like, okay, Vinka's going to get the grenade back. Maybe we're going to see her being played more. Not the case. And there you go. Joystick, first kill, and that's the only hard breacher gone.
Okay, so... I understand you banned Ash, and I understand why you banned Ash, but if you're trying to shut down one particular player...
You're right there, there you go!
A shot onto Joystick, he got the frag, but he also took a lot of damage in that fight. He also did not hold the flank for Shate. And the point I was trying to get at there is that if you're going to counterban a specific player... Usually you want to counterban him on the half that he's starting, especially when he has the momentum in his corner. Because now Joystick's still going to be able to do a lot of damage as Jaeger, and it will probably help his team moving into the second half.
This is not a great start, of course, here is now the hatches, which are the minimum of what you would like to have open, no longer be available as an option even. I mean, sure, you have Boonsy, but there's, I believe, only one hatch was opened up upstairs. Yeah, they did open both of them. Okay, that's not too shabby. You got two of them opened up. You lost the Habana, sure, but it's not the end of the world. You still have the ability to go for a Vault Drop, but that's probably not going to happen. You still have the Thermite, a Skylight Hatch. Is it open, Marcio? Yes, it is. There you go. Okay, utility-wise, you've done a good job. So, now you go for a standard play. You deal with the smoke, you deal with the pulse, burn the utility, go for a plant. But look at the time. That's just, ENCE are just stuck in place.
It's 38 seconds, and that's not a lot to work with. Smokes are going to be coming down into A, though. Shock is the optimal operator to deny this push using his heartbeat detector and C4 combination. Karzeka is going to be throwing those gas canisters in, but it's a Vault Drop from ENCE, and they take down Scyther inside of the elevator. Karzeka will eliminate Boonsy as he attempts to push into the site. Shock getting information from his teammates. The marks coming out in abundance. Karzeka will take down Wilkie and shock onto Comfy, leaving just the 1 HP Uno, and he will die to Shepard, who is all along in the garage. Team Empire lock out Team ENCE, and despite losing Joystick very early, that's Team Empire right there, proving that they are not a one-trick team, that this whole roster has got teeth.
You say that regularly, Michael. Impact frags, and that frag on the Habana was very important.
Yes.
However, it wasn't fast enough to make sure that none of the X-Kairos, or maximum one of them, had been used, but it already demoralizes your opponents when you're able to slip through all of them and get a kill like that.
Yeah, that's the thing I really want to take a second to highlight, is exactly what you just brought up. Yes, Joystick's an amazing player. Yes, he really has great game sense, but he just walked into a free kill on Shate inside of open area. A free kill. And the flank hold was nowhere to be seen. Uno eventually got the refrag. He lost 75 HP, though, in the fight, and it was very delayed. And then following that refrag, after ENCE had shut down all of the roamers from Team Empire, which was just the one, they just stopped.
Yeah.
And
for a solid minute, nothing happened.
Yeah, and it seemed like they were trying to clamp down, be like, all right, are there anyone pushing us? What's going on? What's the deal? We need to be more strategic about this. But they overthought it. They eventually committed to a vault take, but that did not turn out great. Why did it not turn out great? Because Empire only lost one player. They had enough manpower to hold both the B site and the vault drop potential. And they did that. They had the proper operators in the proper location. Shepard can use his Evil Eyes from the garage and hold garage. That's accounted for. You've got Smoke and Pulse both holding B. The big thing here, the heart detector in Vault is allowed to gather information, but not just information on heartbeats, the lack thereof as well. The smokes from ENCE to fake out B were not relevant because Pulse was there, and he said, hey, there's nobody pushing B.
They're trying to bamboozle us, and that's not going to work.
And it did not work. Empire, aware that the site server or CCTV was not being pushed, and they were ready for a vault drop. They locked it down. End of story.
There's just so much to go through, and again, if we had just 5 or 10 minutes between rounds just to go through everything,
It'd be great.
It would be great. Unfortunately, we don't have that luxury. But honestly, there's so much to process here. And Joystick yet again pushing into open area. Can he find someone? No, nobody early on. Uno, in the meantime, using his utility very well. They evade the C4 here. So it's a very good utilization of your utility early on. Joystick will go for an engagement, but take a lot of damage in the meantime. Good start for ENCE. They have control.
Yeah, but at the same time, look at Empire's setup. They have roamers still present and in locations that are not being pressured too much vertically. So, as I say that, the start of the vertical pressure will come out here. Over by Garage, the drop-down, or rather elevator, the drop-down has been opened up, which is going to be very powerful. Some angles being played from above. Gomfi going to be missing a lot of shots thanks to those pillars. You can see the marks in the site, and Uno's looking for the frag, but he will get a little bit too ahead of himself and miss his spray through the floor. Now, more angles being opened up, looking for those fights, but Empire are doing a stellar job of avoiding these fights right now.
And look at where they remaneuver themselves. They put themselves near all the stairs, and no, Karzeka going for the one tap. That'll miss, but Joystick on the other side of the map will find one. Boonsy taken away, no more Thermite. And the problem is now, sure, you have top floor control, but there's 40 seconds on the clock, and you haven't opened the entrance into the site. Shockwave will go down, that's the castle, but it's a low-impact operator. There's not much that he can do anyways after that utility is used, but Shate finally finds Joystick, and that's the victory that ENCE were looking for. But 28 seconds on the clock, Karzeka has gotten Gomfi out of play, and you lose the Zofia just as you're looking to push into the site. Jackal, Uno from above. He can defend the plant if it goes down, so ENCE are definitely looking for this, but there's little time on the clock, and they haven't even commenced that plant. Shate, there we go. He'll try to go for it, but Karzeka coming in from the back. No! Wilkie will take one, and the Uno for the second. A push in from Scyther. It takes Shate down. No more Habana. But Wilkie will finish it off, and that's the second round to go the way of ENCE. I really have to question the Bandit there.
Yeah, that was a really puzzling fight there from Karzeka.
I don't know if it's a spectator thing or if he actually did that.
It didn't look like a spectator thing. Usually you can tell the difference. Like, spectator bugs are very snappy.
Yes.
Like, he'll be, like, in full off zoom and
that was
full
like a
in
zoom out, zoom in, zoom
yeah,
out, zoom in.
You saw the process of it, so that makes me say it probably wasn't a spectator bug. Just
maybe he wasn't unsure. Maybe he thought somebody was holding from the stairs close to him.
He just got a little, I think, confused in the middle of that fight. Either way, he probably would have lost it even if he had understood what he was doing there. It just looked like a situation where Dokkaebi was blending in perfectly. One thing to note is, of course, that Dokkaebi kind of is the same color as that wall, as weird as that sounds. And at that distance, it can be a little confusing, especially with the way the wall was opened up. But all in all, a decent take from ENCE. One thing I want to note there is how masterfully Empire avoided those roamers for a good portion of time, but ENCE recovered it, and that's impressive in of itself. The fact that they were able to win that round with really 20 seconds left when they had full control. Pushing into the site and going for a defuse plant with still Evil Eyes in play, I mean, that should not be allowed to happen, but it did, and really props to ENCE for making it happen.
Yeah, we'll see a similar setup here done by Team Empire. Of course, bringing the castle means that you don't really have to worry about too many flanks, at least earlier on in the round, and that's how you see players like Joystick or Karzeka able to move around the map, not having to worry too much about flanks.
Yeah, I absolutely love the way that Empire is setting up this site. They extend themselves horizontally instead of roaming vertically, and that is, I think, a really great decision on this particular bomb site. It at times can be not very strong on certain sites, but here I think it's definitely great. Though it does leave you open to a very quick vertical clear from ENCE, and you can see they're very much aware of how the defenders are choosing to hold this.
And there's two schools of thought in defending this site. You either hold the top floor to try and burn as much time as possible from your opponents, or you extend yourself horizontally, as Empire are doing, for you to be able to collapse back onto the site, but you forego complete control of the top floor. This, though, gives you the opportunity to play all the way down in the basement in CCTV. So you already hear the Xyrus going off. The barrel is spotted here as Karzeka looking for a kill, but no one is going for the peak just yet. Wilkie along the outside, examining the drones, going through everything, and can set up calls for his teammates. Time Joystick is coming in right behind. Is this going to be the free kill again? No. Shate will drone him out and instantly switch back to his rifle. Joystick will have to fall back, and it seems like he's still very hungry for the kill. Won't be given anything early on in the round here.
So the awareness there from Joystick, he knew that there were other players in the meeting hall and around CEO lounge area, and he was pre-firing all the angles as he retreated. That's good game sense. Managed to make it out because of that game sense. You know, impressed that he chose to fall off instead of trying to challenge the droner of Shate inside of stock. Usually you'll see a little bit more hesitation there from some players. Uno doing his job exceedingly well, also important to note. Shate, long angle shot onto Shepard. That's the downside of leaving these angles open. You know, having the rotation inside of small office, powerful thing if your roamers are there to hold it, but when they're not, the anchors are left exposed to a flank. ENCE are going to be, I think, setting up themselves around the main lobby, going for a site push that way, as we've seen them do so many times before. This Thermite will cut off rotation from the main hallway, but Shock will just win the fight. We're talking about angles that go both ways. If you Thermite a wall, you need to hold it as well. Joystick somehow has made himself upstairs again. How did you get back upstairs, Joystick? Boonsey will take out Scyther, and the phone call, Uno, how did you not hear it? This could be a free kill for Joystick, and it will be! After Wilkie takes down Karzeka in the site, though, these kills from Joystick from above are going to be so much more important. The defuse plant going down, and Joystick will see it, and he will take down the Thermite! Bootsy eliminated, and that puts it into a 2-on-2. Shock in the site will lose to Wilkie, but there's no time left, and Joystick again! What is going on? Empire win the round off the back of Joystick, and Joystick alone.
Every single time. How is he allowed to go back up the stairs? Literally, he's tagged by the Jackal, And the instant that tog goes away, everybody forgets that he exists. Walks back up, walks right next to Uno, and sticks it there. And he gets 3 kills out of it because he got the information on the site and sprayed through the hole where the plant is going down. And oh my god, how is this even allowed?
Every single time you leave a hole open for Joystick, he finds it every single time.
He just sneaks in between everyone.
And it doesn't make any sense. It's like, it's just, the game sense is so crazy. It's eerie. It's how does he know? How does he know there's a hole there? How does he know he can go back upstairs?
Well, you can see it. The way that ENCE were pushing into the site, they had equal numbers.
Yeah.
But they were so focused on actually just getting a plant, they just left Uno on his own upstairs.
And that's a big thing. ENCE seem to be continually making the same mistake of just expecting their opponents not to do things.
Oh, you fell off? Oh, you're probably on the site. No.
Assumptions are one of the worst things you could do in Siege, and it gives Joystick his powers. It allows him to find those holes, in whether in your attack or your defense, it doesn't matter. He finds them. And in this case, it was ENCE did not hold the rotation back upstairs from the main stairs. Whoops. I mean, they were trying to. They thermited lone office wall specifically to hold that flank. But they lost the fight to Shock, the castle. And the flank hold was gone. Just like that. And then from there, back upstairs goes Joystick.
It's a repeat of Oregon, really. It's just
so far.
It's the same mistakes done time and time again. But it's a great start here this time. You don't have to worry about Joystick if he's dead.
Yeah,
that's pretty smart.
I guarantee you, ENCE just said, someone in ENCE just said on the comms,
that's a sigh
Joystick
of relief.
is dead.
That's a sigh of relief. And
yeah.
That's what you don't want to be into if you're playing competitively at a high level. You want to say, oh, I killed this operator, killed that. When you start saying, I killed this guy especially, that's when you know he's getting into your head, and that's a bad spot to be in.
Now, of course, we can't hear their comms. We're not omniscient. We're just saying it's very likely that they are relieved they've killed Joystick. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, at this point, yeah, kind of.
So, Uno moved his way onto the main stairs, and he's in a very powerful position, able to inflict some damage if Scyther exposes himself unnecessarily. But those Legion traps are going to continue to stack up. You got Shepard inside of the garage once more. This time, ENCE are going to go for a server onto CCTV take. Now, we haven't seen them do this yet. Of course, they've only attacked the basement once. But this time, they have the full hard destruction set up so they can open the server wall and go for that default plant. They're going to have to face, though, gas canisters, evil eyes, and the heartbeat detector of Shock. Combined with his C4, this is not an easy push for the attack.
Shepard locking it down as Shock will give him the information. This is something I like. Shate coming around. This is something we saw a lot from Foxy in North America, and he'll find the first kill. Shepard taken out here, at least on the ingress. 3 players alive, and that's the 3 players that you would love to have in such a situation. All operators that can really slow the attack down. 38 seconds on the clock. One more Toxic Babe in hand. Scyther with 2 goo mines in the back pocket. Can be thrown in whenever they want. Calls coming in from the Dokkaebi of Wilkie. C4 thrown out, but will not connect. Uno will come in and find the shot on a Scyther, and Gofi with one more. Karashika on his own. Shotgun in hand, and Uno cleans it up. And finally, ENCE get it together.
That's 2 rounds for them. We've got back and forth so far. 1 for Empire, 1 for ENCE. 1 for Empire, 1 for ENCE. And that seems to be the pattern that we are establishing here on Bank. As previously discussed, this is one of ENCE's best maps, or at least they've proven it to be in their recent match, again, against Trainhard. Now, Empire, on the other hand, are looking pretty strong, but they're not nearly as dominant as they were on Oregon. Lockers CCTV once more for Team Empire, and this will be their final defense on the first half. And then we will see ENCE attempt their defensive half. Now, that last round was beautifully played for ENCE.
Oh, yeah, that's how it should be done.
Yeah, so immediately into the round, Joystick dead. And I gotta imagine he was trying to spawn peek because he died really quick.
He played an open area, and he got a shot into the Zofia at the other end of the parking, but that's about it.
Yeah, so a little bit of, I think, a mistake there made by Joystick. His presence being eliminated so early meant that ENCE were instilled with confidence and were able to play that a little bit more decisively. Following that kill onto Joystick, it was an easy server clear. Nobody from Empire was holding server, no presence there at all, so free real estate. And then Shate positioning himself outside of Garage, waiting for the opportunity to pounce onto Shepard. Very important kill.
Yeah.
If Shepard had been allowed to stay alive and had been able to play his position, he could have denied Uno's push from the main stairs. He could have denied the push into the actual site. He was the linchpin of that hold. And then from there, with Garage control, it was an easy crossfire to cut off rotation and then push into the actual site.
And that's the thing, you want to push into the site. Not only is it important to hold the flank from the stairs, but if you have two angles now, you can lock down rotations from the hallway, from Red Hallway. You could lock things out in the back of the server room. There's just not much that your opponents can do to walk back into the site. You already took 2 players down. That's the Maestro that was in Garage, and the second one, Joystick, early on in the round. So great start, and then you follow it up with making sure that your opponents cannot run back into the site and play against you whilst you go for a plant. So in general, it's exactly how ENCE should be playing it, and they played it perfectly. Will this continue? I assume that this will be a big boon for them in terms of morale, but they really need this half. As of course, they banned out the Ash, so that is something to keep in mind for the second half. But Chate will use all of Kairos now, and to an open area. Of course, the third one by the Vault will get shot down. I wonder if ENCE will go for another Vault drop as we saw before.
Now you see Joystick correcting the mistake he made in the previous round, being a little too aggressive on his roam by simply playing in the site, which, can't really fault him for it. Boonsey going to be pushing into server. He has drone clearage on the left, so he knows it is empty, and he will be able to open up that default plant spot. Continue information here from Shock. He's able to call out one at least pushing upstairs towards the drop down. He will be playing the angle in an attempt to get that kill. Joystick playing dedicated inside of Garage, which means he's probably going to be in a retake position. Shepard missing the shots on the default spot. Somebody needs to deny this. The C4 comes out, and it will land. Boonsey goes down. Uno as well. Shate takes down Scyther, and somebody picks up the default diffuse plant. Wilkie up close on Red Hallway, trying to deny. Shate will take down Karzeka. The smoke eliminated, and Shock, without a C4, will go down. Joystick as well on the floor. It's all Shepard in a 1 versus 3 in the post plant. Gonfi on his drone will be gathering information, or at least leaving it for his teammates to gather information moving forward. Shock will be finished off finally, but he was already down. Shepard has a lot of HP, but he's got to face many a crossfire to push this through, and he will lose out, not even getting a fight. Gonfi, the final kill, and ENCE will win the first half.
That's 2 rounds in a row that ENCE really played it well.
Yeah.
First one was, okay, well, maybe it's just because they got the kill on Joystick early on and they're able to adapt after it. After that, even when he's on site, they're able to do it fairly effectively as well. So I'm impressed that ENCE are able to bring it back that way. Now, this should carry them through and momentum into the second half. So we'll see how this goes. As Joystick right now going for the Jackal. We go into 6th pick. Well, he stick it. Looks like it. He's still pretty fast. He's got ITA. He's got the C7E. Or if he chooses to use the PAW9, both of course available for him. A lot of utility in, plus smokes. There's a ton of utility here for Empire. As ENCE not going for the yellow.
Okay, so I want to analyze that last round real quick. Basically, what seemed to happen for me is that Empire, they are very confident in the way that they're playing it, no matter how they're playing it. And when they went back down to the site, not having any roamers, they were confident in that decision, and they played it well. The problem is, you just entered into ENCE's land. That is their world. When you allow ENCE to set up on you and execute however they want, when you are not poking holes in their attack actively, when you're not trying to, dissuade them from certain things or just push into them and get the kills, no matter what, if you allow ENCE to set up on attack, you are entering into a world of pain. And I think that was the mistake that Empire made several times on defense. They needed to keep their presence known on the map. But it was difficult. Why? Because ENCE were being fairly efficient at clearing out those roamers. And it dissuaded Empire. It said, hey, you know what, if we just fall back, maybe that's the right call. But unfortunately, that's exactly what ENCE wants you to think. And it played into ENCE's hands. Now, ENCE are on defense, so you cannot correct that mistake moving forward if you're Team Empire. Now you need to figure out how ENCE are going to handle you when they're on their hole.
Of course, mentioned it. Of course, Joystick has access to both the PDW-9 and the C7E, and I'll go for the PDW as grants him more ammo.
More bullets.
Yeah, more bullets, and with that kind of aim, yeah, more bullets is exactly what you want. Scyther still holding off here. The angle from Scarlet's Stairwell coming in from the trading office, but Karisheka will get one of the refrag from Uno very quickly. You lose the dock for the sledge and Equilibrium, but I'm not sure if the dock was running a bulletproof camera in this situation or not.
Now this is really important. That means that Joystick rappelling on these north windows does not have a flank hold in the main lobby.
He doesn't need it.
Will get Shate though, and that's going to make Joystick's presence known, possibly opening up for an opportunity for Wilkie to run out on him, but he's being safe for now, not trying to seize that opportunity. Now, Empire have the man advantage, and they, I believe, have opened up a hole to enter into the site. Yes, indeed. Shock will be playing on that hole, looking for any fights he can get on the push into site. And there looks like it's going to be another hole being opened up to cover the flank. Scyther will eliminate Uno, and I believe that was in the main lobby, leaving just Boonsy and Wilkie. Boonsy in the most important position, the anchor, but Wilkie looking for some flank kills. He could win this round for his team if he seizes this opportunity. He will get one onto Scyther, and a second onto Shepard. Excellent gunplay from Wilkie. Pistol out, though, and he vaults down for a reload. He is absolutely destroying the mental game of Empire. As Boonsy takes down Shock, it's going to be just Joystick in the 1 versus 2. With 30 seconds left, he needs to pick up that diffuser and go for the plant or eliminate both players. But the time is ticking, and only 25 seconds left. The game sense on Joystick, absolutely insane. He knows where Wilkie's going to try and rotate back up, but he just barely spots Boonsy, who will put a shotgun blast into the torso of the Jackal. And an excellent rotation from the smoke, and he will eliminate Joystick and take the first round of the second half and put themselves up 4-2.
They give Boonsy smoke, and he'll do work, and shotgun especially, my lord.
That flank from Wilkie.
Oh, yes.
That was what sealed the deal.
That was the same mistake that ENCE were doing when they were attacking. There was nobody on the flank because they might have gotten a bit too cocky with their position. And in that situation, you know, you have the man advantage, 1 or 2 players up here for Team Empire. They got great eliminations early on, and then they kind of just wanted to go to the site. And that's when Wilkie, with his infinite knowledge, just comes in and from the back finds an easy kill, and that's all the cleanup that they needed. 2, actually, and that's the diffuser that was dropped before they could plant it. Boonsy with the follow-up after it meant that, sure, you still have the Jackal alive, but what can he do? Because there's not much to track with the castle being so far away for the entire round, and the smoke having stuck in Janitor the entirety of it.
Yeah, so similar mistakes being made there by Team Empire. What we saw on ENCE. Really got to lock down those flanks. I mean, even in a 4 versus 2, you can still lose, as clearly displayed in that previous round. Great job to Wilkie and Boonsy. Massive props to them for salvaging that. And we would have seen it go to 3-3. So this really should be a 3-3 right now. But not so. All right, basement hold, and ENCE seem determined to roam not only on the middle floor, but also possibly the top. Now, this is going to be a multi-layered defense from ENCE, and I think this is what we really needed to see from Empire, but didn't see much of when they were on defense.
All right, Joystick yet again on the Jackal. We still see is a repeat of the operators. ENCE not bringing anything out of the ordinary. The smokes haven't been really used to greatest extent on the Jackal again, but it's been a while that we get to see an operator like this played. A top-tier competitive play. I think he's one of the more underrated operators. The amount of utility that he can bring. It's just every now and then, especially on bank, we'll get to see a ton of work done. And The smoke is going to get spotted. That's not going to help you with much as Boonsy is on the site. So a bit of a distraction here set up by ENCE. I'll open up the hatch. Joystick will have a long angle down. Shepard might just go for a drone through the hatch, and there you go. Wilkie will spot the drone dropping in. And not sure if he's still waiting for a potential player drop from above, but Karjeka is wasting no time. And he's just going to try and destroy the floorboard as much as possible. Shock finds the first one. Uno again, the castle eliminated in the round. Now this spells disaster for Wilkie, who's all on his own in the open area. And Joystick coming in, finds the head, drops from the hatch, and gets the kill out of it. That's 2 players eliminated very early on. The C4 out of play from Wilkie. And of course, Uno has been taken away. Comfy with 1, and it's one of the 2 hard breachers. Not that big of a loss for Empire.
Yeah, the Guzman from the lifeline there will detect that there is no one inside of the elevator, but Joystick seemingly chooses to commit to the angle regardless. A curious decision made by Joystick, but Scyther at least there to refrag him. Still man advantage for Empire, but I have to say, we have ENCE in a very good position, where they've got great anti-plant utility, and they only have to delay for a minute longer. Empire, though, also in good position to push this. They have opened up the wall in from server. They need to start eating away at those toxic babes.
Yeah, what they have here is you saw the Maestro camera, that's the evil eye that Thermite is looking into, and because there's 3 dead players on ENCE, all they can do now is just cycle between these cameras and give information for their teammates as this plant should be coming in. However, the Sledge comes in and whacks the evil eye, taking it out.
Yep, so good use of the hammer. Less information for the Team ENCE. But here, we still have a Toxic Babe in hand for ENCE, and there's only 15 seconds, which means this Toxic Babe should be able to delay for the most of... Oh no! Boonsy missed it! The defuse plant going down. He goes in for the rush, but gets shut down by Karzeka, and Show will Shate. A double kill for the Sledge, and Empire will take the round. We go to 4-3. Still ENCE's favor, but Empire trying to recover it.
Manpower consolidation definitely in the hands of Team Empire, and ENCE just falling apart at the seams, I guess, but they still have the round advantage. If they can put themselves on that 5th round, that'll guarantee a minimum of overtime. And I'd like to remind everybody that, yes, both games tonight and the entirety of these relegations, if you haven't been watching, are best of 3 series. And it's different, of course, than your best of 1s that you're used to for a regular Pro League, because these are basically playoffs and qualifiers into Pro League. But overtime rule is in play. You tie 5-5, you go into overtime, you play that best of 3. Something that we had in the past, we don't anymore. But here we kind of have to readjust for it and to it as we get closer to Rio. We'll have similar rules as well being applied at the offline event, especially if you're just coming in and having watched after the Paris Major. That's something that you'll be familiar with. But ENCE again, round number 8, and they are on the defense, and they will stick to Tellers and Archives. Wilkie will set up his Black Eyes in the meantime, as right now they're just setting around utility.
Yeah, this is some great utility placement from ENCE, of course. I really have to commend ENCE for the multi-tiered defense that they've been setting up. That is, again, what we were missing from Team Empire when they were on their defensive half. It was a little bit, I don't know how to put this. It was stagnant from Empire. They were just, sitting in the site waiting, and it didn't turn out great for them. Now, ENCE, of course, did lose that last round, and it was partially because they lost so many players early on to those picks, but I don't know. I feel like it's great to see ENCE taking a more aggressive role and not losing the confidence after such a one-sided defeat on the first map. Now, as you can see on that note, many roamers on the top floor, and they're just looking to delay Empire as long as possible, but marks and information are in Joystick's favor. He will miss the shots, but not all of them. 50 damage done to Shate, and that's a good start to the round, if not an actual kill. Of course, not the best result, but it's something. Well, he will be healed up, though, by Uno. Gomfi onto Shepard, Scyther back onto Gomfi. So an even exchange, but not so even considering the Thermite has been taken out.
Yeah, now Thermite allows late plants. You can open up the 2 big walls downstairs, especially the one coming in from Teller's into Teller's office. So there's definitely a lot of utility lost there. But the Habana can fill the role if you really need to. Definitely not a position where you want to stay in though. Shate will get brought up here by Uno on the dock, but Joystick able to take him out with the PDW9. Uno taking a lot of damage, but should be able to heal himself right back up. I'm not sure if he still has an extra syringe, and oh no! He finds it, threads the needle. Shockwave will go down, and Karjeka on the outside, repelling by the main entrance. Can't find much. Joystick still low on health. Of course, no dock on the attacking side, and no! He's gonna find it! Boonty will go down! You lose the smoke. That's a great kill here for Team Empire. But they'll have the reset now. ENCE will have both Wilkie and Uno to play with. But Karjeka's coming in from the side. Uno hits it. The headshot again, eliminating Karjeka, but Scyther is ready. And he takes him out 1v2, all up to Wilkie, the IGL, and the real-life tank commander. Not enough as Scyther from above finds the angle from the opened hole, and Wilkie will go down. Empire to tie it 4-4.
Excellent job there from Empire. Solid clear. It all started with that pressure being applied to the roamers on the top floor from the north windows. And that pressure was somewhat negated by the crossfire being eliminated when the thermite died. True. Great job to ENCE making that happen. But at the same time, they lost a player in the exchange, and the pressure was still eventually applied later in the round. The north window pressure also was prevalent enough to just eliminate the roamers on the top floor by itself. They didn't need the crossfire from Skylight. So overall, great roam clear from Empire, followed up with a solid site clear. ENCE fought back all the while, and they came down to a very close count there in terms of manpower, but still favor Empire. And they have now equalized 4-4. And it looked like ENCE were likely to just walk away with it for a while there on the first half. But this is what we talked about before the match even began. If there's going to be a map that is a pitched battle, it'll be Bang. And that's what we're getting.
Yeah, and it's fairly close, to say the least. ENCE have a chance here to bring it to map 3 and see if they can potentially take the whole series right then and there. But until then, it's going to take a while. Bulletproof camera is going to get set here by Wilkie. You've got to be careful sometimes with the painting models or any stuff that you have behind some cameras or utility that you set up. If you shoot those bits of utility, it might break the whole the cameras that you put in. It happens a lot with Maestro, for example, on a map like Consulate, where there's a lot of windows on the inside that have glass on the inside with indestructible surfaces behind them, and sometimes you just shoot the glass and it breaks the whole evil eye. So there's some things to keep in mind when it comes to those positions. None of that in this case, just a bit of a tidbit for everybody out there. Joystick again on the Jackal with the PDW9, and he'll start hunting early on. Of course, Jackal not too long ago has received a buff where his
bomb located by attackers.
Tracking device goes all the way up to 8 meters if you're looking for spots. So
Bomb has been located.
There's quite a bit that can be done with him, even from a fair distance away.
Yeah. Now, speaking of information, we will have the Jackal himself playing on these north windows, and not exactly the most ideal position to have the Jackal in. If you're talking about operators, usually you want to have him to clear out the roamers, right?
But he's just holding the wall.
Yeah, but instead he's just using his gun to the best of his ability. But he's doing a lot right now. As you can see, there's nobody actually in either of the bomb sites, which could open up things for a plant moving forward. And building on that, through the wall, Joystick will take down Boonsy. Was there a drone? No, there was not.
All right.
Well, through the wall and the shelf, a headshot onto Boonsy. That's going to open up the site significantly for Empire. Karjeka will follow it up with a kill onto Uno from the main lobby. That's an excellent frag for the Sledge on a very long angle over by Tellers. Gonfi will refrag it though, so this is great initiative by ENCE, not letting the man count slip too far away from them. Both of the skylight walls have been opened up. Great job to Shepard on making that happen. Joystick will come off of the north rappel, which was a very powerful position to have, and push his way to the main lobby. This could be a bad decision that costs Empire the round, or it could make them the round. It depends on what ENCE is expecting. Doesn't seem like they're holding the main lobby right now. Oh no, Shate overlooked by Scyther, and an easy kill, but the marks will come out. Shepard looking for the spray through the walls, but there's no way to land those shots as there's plenty of cover. Shate gets another one onto Shepard, playing inside of that closet well, but Shock from the main lobby creeps up on Gomfi and gets a free kill. And now it's a crossfire from the north windows and this reception location. Inside though, Wilkie will take down Joystick as he attempts to repel in. It's all Shock now in a 1 versus 2, but he's got a very lit Shate, and if he beats Wilkie in his fight, he could still win this, though he's getting caught up on the wrong angles, and he will run out of time. An excellent holdout from ENCE. Wilkie gets the final kill, and beautifully done for the defense. 5-4, ENCE's favor, match point.
I want to say that every time ENCE are put in a situation where there's 2 or 3 left, their coordination is on point.
Yeah.
It's weird to say because when all 5 are alive, that's not been, a repetitive case. So it seems like when things die down, the communications are much clearer between the players, but ENCE are close here. They confirm a minimum of overtime. Empire can tie it and go into OT, but ENCE can just finish it right here with a 6-4 and go into map 3. But they still have 1 fight to go, and they'll go down to lockers and CCTV, a site that is very famous for being fairly defender-sided. Depending on how ENCE want to play it, could definitely be in their hands. Shate has excelled on the Maestro in the past few rounds, and Wilkie bringing the Pulse, I think, is the biggest deal here for the squad. You can delay so much if you can just time the utility correctly.
Yeah, I have to say Shate in that last round was really the man of the hour. When we saw Boonsy die through the wall to Joystick, which was crazy. I don't know how he got that kill. It must have been just, again, it's the game sense from Joystick. Unlike any player I've ever seen, really. But once Joystick got that kill, it opened up the site for Empire. But once Joystick came off the angle, which was holding the closet, that allowed Shate to rotate and retake the position that Boonsy had lost, and then start fragging out from there because Empire expected it to be clear. And that's those assumptions really coming into play. You need to drone it out. Even if you get a kill there, you need to make sure. And so many bodies were lost to Shate in that spot. Now, Empire, yet again, clearing from the top down. But this time, they're going on to the basement. It's been a while since they've been attacking this site. And it's going to be either overtime or ENCE will push us to map 3. That's a pretty large stakes for Empire. Of course, just locking it out on on 2 maps would be ideal.
And this, it might technically allow ENCE to be fresher for that second game.
Well, depending on who goes to it.
Depending on who goes to it, exactly.
But if ENCE lose here, then that's less time and less fatigue when they go into the second one, if they lose here.
Yeah, it does require a lot of mental prowess to keep chaining these rounds and these maps one after the other, especially if you're facing a completely different opponent, no matter the team that exits this matchup victorious and, well, earns their spot in Pro League. Interesting that Shock has switched around to the P229 off of the Bearing 9, and you saw there, see that wall? It was completely blown out by Shate on the Maestro with a Bailiff. That's an olden way of doing things when you know that your opponents are not going to be bringing too much soft destruction, but because there's Karjeka, because there's Scyther and Joystick bringing all 3 operators that are great at these sorts of destructions, that wall can be dispatched easily, but if you just waste enough time, that wall can actually create a lot of problems for the attacking team.
Yeah, it's going to allow for a lot of angles that ENCE can play to deny the push into the A bomb site, into that CCTV, which of course is going to be the focus for Empire.
Oh.
Joystick loses up just a straight-up fight to Uno. You don't see that happen often. Joystick, a little unfortunate for him there, and Uno will come back to the site triumphant and be reset by his teammate. Shock takes up the position that Joystick had lost out on, and that is a lot of power, a lot of bite that Empire just lost. That is probably one of the best pushes up the main stairs we've seen in a while from any team ever. Shate will take down Karzeka, and it's a 3 versus 5 now. ENCE look poised to lock this map out and take us to Consulate. Shock, though, will be trying to flash out the players in red hallway, allowing for a possible push into the site, but it's poorly timed, and the Gershmont will delay that drop from Shock, allowing him to be an easy frag to Uno. Potentially first kill for the attack, and yes, there it is. Uno goes down to a spray from Scyther, but there's no time, and the last 2 defenders in server will be locked out completely. A last hurrah there from Empire, but map 3 is in the books. 6-4 for ENCE, an excellent victory on Bank, and that very nearly went to a 2-0.
That was a lot closer, to say the least. But
yeah,
this is definitely a matchup that will live on, to say the least. Again, Wilkie with the quad 5 scoreline at the end. 10 frags for Wilkie in the matchup, equaling Joystick, and this is not something you would usually see as Wilkie. You mentioned it in map 1, he's the in-game leader for ENCE. Usually the IDL's job is to stick in and around your teammates. You're not the one that's going to entry frag. And well, here, no, he's doing the work, and it's something that in the past I would have faulted Wilkie on doing many times, season upon season. Every single time is just if there's only a bit more work that he could have done. And well, here he's stepping up, and it's showing. And what a game that is! That basically this is the game that they need to show up in, because you lose here, sure, you get another chance, but you're in map 3. You'll be exhausted by the end of it. No matter who takes that third map, it's gonna weigh a lot on you mentally and physically.
Yeah, and I have to say, serious props to ENCE for winning that map, because while Empire did look a little bit off, compared to what we saw from them on Oregon, while their roaming presence was almost non-existent, which was odd, their attacks were a little bit less, powerful. They still played with that little edge that Empire always seems to have in every match that they play, and ENCE recovered time after time after time. All that said, though, that's just 2 maps of the best of 3 we have for you guys. Consulate will be the final map of the series once we come back from this short break.
Attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped. Defender has left the designated staging area. Attackers have... seconds to go. Attackers bomb has recovered their diffuser. Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Heartbeat sensor deployed!
Drop the bomb diffuser. Attack. Attackers drop the diffuser.
Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to EU Pro League Relegations Season 8. This is, of course, the last play day of our online season, and after tonight, we'll know which teams are locked in for next season of Pro League. We'll recap all of that at the end of the day, of course, but we still have to finish our first matchup of the day. I'll remind you, 2 best-of-3s are on the line. Number 1, Empire versus ENCE. Map 1, Oregon. Map 2, Bank. Walk me through those.
Yeah, and we had a very one-sided Oregon going in the favor of Team Empire. The roam game just indomitable, and their roam clear very much the same. ENCE just seemed backed into a corner. Going into Bank, though, Empire's roam game non-existent. Just disappeared, evaporated, and the roam clear significantly lessened thanks to ENCE's ban of the Ash, shutting down Joystick in many ways. We did see the Jackal be very prominent, but not as much as Ash on Oregon. Now going into Consulate, the final map of this series, ENCE historically very strong on this map, but Empire also strong on this map, so this is going to be a bit of a toss-up. The ban from Empire will be lying, and I think we can both agree that Ash is likely to be banned here.
Yeah, it's very possible, and we saw the impact that had once ENCE were able to remove it. There you go, Ash is going to be taken away. Yeah, it's weird to say it, but it makes a lot of sense. If you don't understand why, after the day's done, go back and rewatch Oregon, and you'll know exactly what we mean.
Yeah.
So there you go. ENCE will have the second ban, and they'll remove the Echo. So Empire will have the possibility to take down a second defender. And usually on the Consulate, it's a Valkyrie. So maybe Valkyrie, maybe the Maestro as well. Both operators on the board. And no, the Mira will get removed, which I think is to some extent a waste of a ban on Consulate.
I mean, it's been consistently. These are Empire's 2 bans for every single map so far.
But you need to put the ban here on Consulate. Maybe there would have been a better operator. I don't know.
There are definitely some, I think, better options on Consulate. I can agree with you there. Mira is super powerful everywhere, but not as powerful here. Not on Consulate.
Now, one thing I want to highlight for people that have not watched Challenger League, which, again, I want to thank our Challenger League casters, both Sternab and Demo for EU, but also Flynn when it comes to North America, for going through them and casting all those games and having them in archive for us to rewatch. You didn't watch them and see the power that Uno has on not only Jackal, but that Maverick that he picked off of.
Mm-hmm.
He's been exceptionally powerful on it. Not only because they use a utility, but the M4 has got perfect control on it.
So here's the crazy thing about Six picking off of a Maverick. If you have Maverick in the lineup, your opponents see it in the reveal phase, and then you Six pick into a Jackal. That means you have the clear on the roamers of the Jackal, and Empire is not aware about it. But also, Empire thinks you have a Maverick, which means they're going to be staring at their own reinforced walls the entire friggin' round until they know you do not anymore. So that's beautiful mind games being played by ENCE. They'll have the left hook of the Jackal, and they'll have the presence of the Maverick without actually having a Maverick.
It really is a mind game, and it's a difficult thing to put into perspective. But once you get to play at this level, once you understand how these sorts of, again, mind games come into play, then you'll get to see how powerful they actually are. They really put you on your side, and once you're like, oh, they don't actually have them, if you're in a tough situation, you won't know how to react and how to play against it.
Yeah, it could present you with some really amazing opportunities, like, for example, if a defender... Ooh, speaking of defender, Joystick, first kill on to
Well,
Uno.
there's our speculation.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Uno's roam clear is excellent. Jackal is a great operator for him, and it was a decent pick. But honestly, if you can't beat the fragging power, then there's not much more to be said.
And that's the thing. One thing that Empire are really good at when it comes to the attack here is going every single time. We'll go up admin, we'll clear from the top floor, and then we go down. And this is not something that ENCE did here, which you know, might have been a better thing for them to do. In hindsight, oh, there you go. Joystick will go down, but at what cost? Shate low on health. They can reset him. There's a ton of time here, and if they have the correct drone set up, then ENCE might be able to watch the rotations, not really put Shate in a difficult position. At least a spot where he can get taken down. X-Kairos will be set down on the hatches for them to get blown up. And of course, Wilkie just waiting in on drones and information. There's a Mu Jammer in the back, of course, that is stopping the lobby hatch. But Gomfi has the breaching charges, which is a very common thing on Zofia nowadays. And you have Wilkie that's taking a bit of damage from below. He's going to start off with Skeleton Key and open up the floor.
Shock just trying to fight back through these angles. The safe ground to hold as a defender is dwindling away one little soft destruction at a time. As you can see, speaking of dwindling, the attacker's HP, so many lit players, Shate, Gomfi, and Wilkie all going to die fairly easily. Boonsey, the last full HP on his team versus four fully stacked defenders right now. But these defenders are losing so much ground. The garage has been opened up at many an angle, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to hold on to it. 3 players forced into security, 1 in the A-bomb site kitchen. This is not a great setup for Team Empire. They can make it work. They've got a good setup for it, but Shate is going to be pressuring from behind. The impact will go onto Shate and not do enough damage to down him, but it could have potentially, considering how low that Habana is. Moving over to security hallway, again going to be the Habana. Trying to play the flank as best as possible. The Evil Eye onto Boonsey is doing so much damage, and Shock will be the final bit of damage to down the Thermite. Karzeka takes out Gomfi. Shate will eliminate Karzeka, but from the side, Scyther able to get the kill. Wilkie, the last attacker, and will get a pistol kill, but he's got to find 2 more. Sees the mute, but loses the fight to, in fact, the smoke. Shepard, the final kill there, and Empire take round number 1.
That was fall from grace a bit here from ENCE. They started off with a loss. They didn't have Uno anymore to play, and they're clear in the roam. And, well, Joystick all on his own was non-existent until the lucky kill, if you will, in that fight, 1v1 between Shate and Joystick, which ended in Shate barely having any health and barely having any ammo, basically a single round left in the mag. And he wasn't reset. There was a lot of time. They couldn't find much in terms of picks with the buck. And then the Thermite walked in on his own.
I have to commend Shate at the same time for that beautiful play.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to admit, he did a good job there of expecting the movements from Joystick, anticipating them, and playing into them. You know, Joystick, he sees a drone, he's not going to fight you head on. He's done that many times. Every time you drone out the Joystick who's trying to flank you, he goes somewhere else. And Shate expected that, and he played into it. Great job realizing how Joystick plays and countering it directly. That's the problem of being such a prominent player. It doesn't necessarily make you predictable. You know, that's your own gameplay that's going to do that. But it also makes players more attentive to how you play.
5 seconds remaining.
So good job to Empire recovering from that, but also good job to Chate countering that specific play from Joystick. Top floor hold. One thing that is interesting to me is that ENCE 6-picked a Thermite into a Thermite, which means that you could tell Boonsey was in the 6-pick phase, and he was like, hey guys, what do I play? And nobody came up with a good answer. That's not a good thing.
No.
And the reason I say that is a Kickstart. What do you mean? Thermite's useful? No, not on this site he isn't. Chate will take down Joystick, so good start for ENCE. Empire, though, will refrag back on to Boonsey. That's a run out from the A balcony.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about who you 6-pick into if you're just dead. So
Yeah, suppose not going to matter.
less to worry about, I guess. But there you go. Admin take in from ENCE. They'll have control as Gomfi will walk in and continue to drone. Chate has one next to him as well as Uno, so they're going to get info on the site. Oddly enough, it shocked the mute that's sitting on projector behind the table and not the smoke, which is what you would usually see, typically see in that situation. Uno going in. You still need hold of the balcony, but with one player down, ENCE might not have anybody to watch the connector at the same time. So they're going to have to rely a lot on the balcony. And look at all those punch holes that are set up by Karjeka. Maestros or Docs in those positions could just peek you from everywhere, and you just won't know where they're at.
Yeah, and he's using bullet holes, so the punch holes are even just a distraction. Nice setup from Empire. Really like the stack here. ENCE is taking it fairly slow, though. They are not just pushing in willy-nilly, and you got to appreciate the patience here from ENCE. They do have time to play this slow. They do not need to rush, so definitely the smart call. Fake out from Uno, expecting the run out from Visa, but there's nobody there from Empire to do that run out. You can see the aggressive peek from Shock. He's going to get a little bit more passive. Excaros will open up his flank, though, so not a great situation. You can see ENCE are wary of any potential flanks, but the main flanker from Empire is already dead. That's, of course, Joystick. And speaking of flanks, Shock onto Chate. Good peek from him, but Uno refrags Karzeka there, able to get the refrag onto Uno as he pushes in through those Vista stairs. So good teamwork here from Empire, but still, Shock lost. That's definitely going to be a hard blow, and will force Karzeka to push into the A site to take up his position. Inside of the long desk area, Gomfi trying to challenge into the A bomb site through the little holes that were established thanks to the Excaros, but there's not enough to rotate through. So it's not going to be an easy push. And with so little time, oh, what a shot from Karzeka! And he hears on top of Visa stairs, Gomfi, the last attacker, the spray through his own teammate Smoke. And Empire will take the round off of some beautiful play from the dock of Karzeka.
Flank wash problem again, at least on the same floor from ENCE, and I mentioned it literally 10 seconds before the kill. Balcony hold. If you don't have anybody on the balcony, you have no angle looking into the site. And into connector, which is arguably even more important than projector itself. Uno just walks into the site to go for a refrag. Very frag hungry there. He gets one, but he gets instantly traded off by the dock, and everything spirals out of control. Nobody holding the one angle that looks all the way down from the balcony through the projector, through the connector room, and of course the main hall and the bathroom. That's such a powerful position to have, yet nobody used it at all. And there you go. That's exactly what I want to talk about. Boonsey on the Blackbeard. Why was that not present last round? Boonsey has had a lot of experience on the Blackbeard in the past, and had he been there to just watch the balcony, it might have been a completely different end. But here, we'll go to the lobby as, of course, we already saw two sites that were played and defended successfully by Team Empire, the garage, and the top floor for the team. So now we see them going back down to the lobby, which has been a lot more of a standard site. Nowadays, a lot of teams are playing the site. Why? Because you still need hold of the top floor, which means attackers still need to go through that admin take before they walk into the site from the front door or from the opposite end from the yellow stairs, which happens quite a lot. It's a lot of delay potential from the defense.
Shock setting up the same run out he used last round, though I don't expect him to use it this time around. You just want to put the fear into your enemies and force them to watch it attentively. Joystick, first kill on to Shate. It's always either Joystick gets the first kill or Joystick is the first kill. It's one or the other. And this time, it's Empire's favor. From the spiral staircase, he is able to eliminate the sledge of Shate. I think I'd say a little aggressive there from Shate. Probably could have waited for a drone to clear out fully before pushing in. That's definitely a mistake on his part.
Yeah, you lose the sledge. The biggest deal as well is you lose the grenades. You can't use them for that top-down play, but Uno finds one and now eliminates the smoke. That's a much bigger frag, though, on the side of ENCE. Shock peeking against the Blackbeard. Not something we'd recommend, but here, the turnaround, as Shock is able to escape and find the frag on Uno. As Uno's distracted, I don't know what he was trying to do here, just turning around. Maybe he was trying to scan the floor, but at that point, just hold the angle. Your Blackbeard should be giving you info. And Shock will find another one. How is this even allowed? Karjeka sprays all the way down on the projector. Damage done to Gomfi, but the Zosha is still alive, and Karjeka will boost up his teammate. So now the Mute, who has rotated all the way from the other side of the map, will be full HP pretty much. Both Karjeka and his teammate spraying down, but Boonsey will find Joystick eliminating the Jaeger. But will that be enough as Boonsey takes damage to the body from the opposite end here? Karjeka from the bathroom. Boonsey all on his own now. Shield in play, but Karjeka will find one more. The MP5 on the dock. Seems like Karjeka has just complete control of it. Previous round and on this very third one here.
Yeah, Karjeka really picking up the slack there for Joystick. While Joystick was able to get the initial frag on his attempted flank, he was shut down by ENCE. It definitely does seem like ENCE has figured out how to deal with the Joystick flanks. They're paying much closer attention to all those avenues that he likes to use. Excellent job to ENCE really shutting that down early into this map, especially considering they haven't played this map yet against Empire today. So, yeah, props to them. But also, at the same time, they have not won a single round yet on Consulate, despite them seemingly understanding how Joystick plays. So that, again, is Empire, proving that they are a formidable roster, not just one player with a limelight. So, basement hold after successfully defending the trio of sites for Consulate. Now, of course, there's the fourth one, but so rarely is it held by any team. We do see some early adopters in the European region, but clearly not going to be Team Empire in that lineup. Now, the basement was successful, again, as I stated, for Empire. But it was a pretty close one. ENCE managed to get top floor control, do a lot of vertical pressure on, or apply a lot of vertical pressure onto the garage site.
But they couldn't get kills off of it.
Yeah, but they struggled to really execute it. So that's what needs to change here. We need ENCE to be a little bit more lethal when they eventually do get that top floor control. They start opening up those holes. But that's, I guess, that depends on Team Empire making mistakes.
Yeah, will that happen? Well, the past 3 rounds have not really shown that. Shate coming in on the drone. As Karjeka will set up, he'll have an angle from the entry from the window, top floor. It's a ballsy angle, but it works similar to how we see it on Bank, or even on Oregon, if you're holding from the kitchen, looking onto the entry into the kids' dorm. Same thing here. You can just lock out any players who want to walk in from the window, or at least have some information on players that are walking up. The audio still transfers very well through open holes.
I really do like this decision to focus on garage from ENCE. They got the garage open very late in the last time they attacked this site, but this time it's open in the first minute. Meanwhile, by the main lobby, Joystick has eaten a lot of damage, but he persists. Curious decision made by the Jaeger, but it could net him a free kill onto the Hibana, but no, Shate is quicker, and he lands the headshot. Jaeger goes down, Joystick, again, always the first to die, or the first to get a kill, but here it will favor ENCE. Shock, very aggressive angle there, and Garage could potentially cost him his life. We'll see.
It's high risk, high reward for Shockwave, and even here for Shockwave on the Mute. Karjeka from below on the pulse, just scanning in. He'll find one body, but can Shock get a frag off of it? No, he'll just fall back. And you see the breaching charges being applied by the Zofia, which will open up the floorboard. There's no buck in play this time, as again having both the Zofia and the buck is kind of superfluous when you're bringing breaching charges. But all the operators here work well in tandem for ENCE. And you mentioned they opened the wall early on. At the minute mark, they'll open the second half here of the garage. Cyther will have a line of sight down into it, and that's the position where you're looking for the evil eye. Uno will find one on Shepard from above, and he sprays through the lobby entrance. And that's a U-shape that he really does need. It'll open up the hatch on the opposite end so they can drop into server if need be, but at least they'll have some sort of point of view on rotation angle for Empire. Shock looking in from the cafeteria, but nobody's going to drop that hatch anytime soon. At least I don't think so. The smokes are going to get thrown in here just to distract Team Empires. Remember, there's 3 players alive. C4s are in hand, and Karajeka does not have his nitro cell. Cyther will drop to the floor as Wilkie is just covering Boonsy, who goes in close plant by the bomb as Karajeka walks in. Uno with one and Shate for the second is Shock, the one to get the kill on Shate, but he's got to face 4 more. The ace that he needs to get seems so far away, and Gomfi will finish him off on the Zofia. So ENCE will put their first round on the board. I think we're starting to see more of concise play from ENCE as they kind of get back into the groove of Consulate, and they're able to shut down the most important player for Empire at this point earlier on, Shockwave.
That was a well-conducted attack, I have to agree. The push into main lobby was stacked for ENCE. So many players, one on top of each other. And Joystick was lit up pretty early on, but ultimately was a headshot that felled him in the piano room. So great job again to Shate winning that fight. I really didn't expect him to. It looked like Joystick was in a good position to win it, but not so. After that, the thing that we needed to see from ENCE in the previous time they attacked the basement was shown. We saw ENCE use their vertical control really well. They managed to apply a lot of pressure to the garage. They had the garage already opened up, which allowed for a push in. The smokes were used well to distract, and they also managed to get some picks through those vertical holes. So overall, a much better attack onto the basement from ENCE. Now, the final defense for Team Empire, and will be on the top floor. Now, we were, of course, we did, of course, see Empire be successful on this floor the last time they went here. But that makes sense considering they've only lost 1 round, and it was the previous one. The last time we saw this, it was ENCE trying to clear from admin office, but they were thwarted by just plenty of well-established angles. I mean, look at this.
They weren't contesting anything. I mean, they didn't even bring the Blackbeard back then, and they're not this time again.
It is a really curious decision. I have to point that out. Is why is there no Blackbeard? I mean, he is the most useful operator, or what? Pardon me. He is one of the most useful operators while attacking the top floor. I mean, when you're able to just outright win on an angle, that means so much considering how many angles are easily accessible upstairs.
Yeah, he's literally designed to hold angles. That's how he works, basically. And when you don't use him in the balcony, Boonsy just stays all the way back, and he's watching for any runouts or anybody that wants to get too aggressive. But that's an angle that you're not really going to hit anytime soon. It's much more difficult than what it looks out to be. And yet again, Joystick will find the first one. This time, he'll be the one to be on top of the fight against Shate. And yeah, sure, you could watch the a rotation from above with the thermite all the way from spawn, but you're not going to be able to spot Joystick as he walks in by the main doorway and gets a freebie on the Havana.
Always the first. ENCE have taken control over admin office, so it's a decent start. We've got the marks going on to Joystick, I believe, but he's rotated back to site, so not a readily accessible kill. Overall, a very slow clear here for ENCE. Just taking their time. They've got the control that they want. They're going to start opening up some more angles to deny flanks and get angles into the site. Good use of the exothermic charge, all things considered. As we discussed, Thermite not a very useful operator on the top floor, but it's trying to make him work in their favor. Curious decision to bring 2 Heart Destructors instead of, I don't know, a Blackbeard. Shock playing inside of A. in a very powerful position, very likely has a C4, and yes, it's still in hand. He's waiting for the pressure from the A balcony. He sees the player, but misses the shot. And he will eat some damage through that table.
Yeah, that's again a spot where we mentioned it so many times now, but we're still questioning it. Why no Blackbeard? It would have been so much easier to lock things down. And here you're afraid to peek as spray from Shock might be able to finish you off very quickly. But Uno will get one. That's two, though. Three make it in a row for Team Empire. And Boonsy yet again didn't even need to worry about the player on the balcony. And he peeks in. Joystick will thread the needle, and Boonsy will go down the 5th round. Now in the hand, or round number 5, that is in the hands of Team Empire. 4-1 scoreline. Boy, what an angle was that.
Yeah, that was a close one indeed. Well done to Joystick. Well done to Team Empire. And it does definitely look like a dominant map so far for Empire. They did lose the 1 round, but 4-1 is a great first half, no matter what you're what you're looking at. We've seen comebacks from 4-1 before. It's definitely happened. For example, the last relegation, Noble versus Elephant Gang. That was, of course, North American relegations. On Border, we saw Noble put themselves up 4-1 and then end up losing it 6-4. So this could see a swing back in ENCE's favor. We, again, not that far-fetched. But it also just kind of looks like Empire has a distinct edge here. The one thing that is going to be in ENCE's favor is now the ENCE attacker ban of Ash is really going to come into play. It's definitely going to shine here. Joystick was not as lethal using Jackal as he was with Ash. It was a mistake for ENCE to allow Ash to be even played in the first map, but they quickly corrected that in map 2 and now 3. Empire, without their Ash player, will instead have the Jackal, which is definitely very powerful, especially on Consulate, but not as powerful as a Joystick on Ash. Definitely not.
Yeah, that's the reasoning, that's the logic behind that ban, of course. And,
yeah.
Again, we'll remind you, one day, maybe this weekend, you go back, you rewatch that first map or any of these Challenger League games that Team Empire played, and by the way, a reminder, they won every single one of them except for one where they had to forfeit the match because not all players were available for the first game of the evening. But every single time, the Ash of Joystick is just allowed to run around and get frags because the rest of the team is giving them info. And Joystick has been playing the Jackal fairly effectively. We saw it on Bank, and we'll be bringing that PDW9 again on map 3. And Empire in general will go for a admin take early on.
Slow going though. You see they're just trying to assure themselves that the admin office is in fact clear. And yes, it is. But better safe than sorry. Lots of mute jammers are slowing this up. That's great job to Wilkie reading into the admin office clear and putting those mute jammers in key locations. Joystick, though, finally goes for the repel, and Shock will actually take down Gomfi through the wall off of the back of the information from the drone. Good job there to Empire, droning out and eliminating the admin office hold. That's going to prompt the rest of the roamers who were in a position to help out Gomfi to fall all the way back. They're now playing as safe as they possibly can in the site. Definitely the right call. Admin office is officially lost.
Now, what Empire were doing is reinforcing that wall to the stairs. It basically held ENCE in position and allowed Empire to play around them. And this time, ENCE, when they're on the defense, they choose to leave that wall soft. Now, Empire are doing the same as their opponents, and they're successful in it, though. That's the big difference, is that Boonsy will get shot down. And, of course, you lost the Jaeger early on. ENCE definitely in a bad spot here, and the Habana should have no problems opening up the site. There you go. You already hear the Skyros being thrown in, smokes being thrown in from Joystick, and unfortunately the Maestro is in the back, so we'll be able to take down a few of those pellets. Unfortunately, all 3 canisters were used, and Joystick sprays in and finds Wilkie through the smoke. Alrighty, got to check out with one more on to Uno, and in the meantime, Diffuser is set. Shate last man alive on the Maestro as Joystick's trying to find those legs, but Shate in the main console front desk. He's got to find all 5 players of Team Empire. You know, Shate is a world champion, but does he have it in him for this sort of ace retake? is already low on health. He'll find one. Joystick eliminated. The toughest nut to crack. And Shepard already setting up his drone. He'll get the information for his teammate, and Karjeka will land the third kill of the round. Shate will go down, and Empire 5-1, 1 round away from Pro League. As simple as that.
Well, they definitely look poised to seize it. Shate, nice try there at the end. But overall, just an absolutely ruthless clear from Empire. It all started with admin office, and from there it was quite clear that they had enough manpower. After so many picks pushing their way towards Projector, they finally took it. Now, of course, we did see a Thermite Habana from Empire there on that top floor site, but of course they couldn't know that it was top floor, so that's fair.
Whereas when we mentioned it for ENCE, they knew that it was going to be top floor or lobby, and in any case, both sites would work very well with the Blackbeard. Yeah,
so you know that's why of course we're harping on it with ENCE, and it definitely wasn't an advantage lost. But Team Empire now again bringing those dual hard destructors, of course, because ENCE was unsuccessful on the top floor. They can go pretty much anywhere. And they will go back upstairs, it seems. I think a curious decision. This is potentially the very last round on this map, and in this match, in fact. You know, Empire only needs to win 1 of the next 4, and including this one, of course. And that's a tough nut to crack if you're ENCE.
You have a ton of experience, a ton of talent on the team, but that's a lot to measure up to. We've seen it before. ENCE has done it, and Karjeka this time on top of the board for Empire has been putting quite a bit of work on the board.
You'll have to see that weight shifted just a little bit. Yeah. You know, see other players stand out. And we were talking about that earlier. On map number 1, if it wasn't Joystick, there was Karjeka.
Yes. And again, for people that are watching here, Karjeka is the in-game leader for the squad, and of course he's the Estonian player on
the only non-Russian.
Yeah, the only non-Russian on the team, and he's usually always playing up and close to Joystick, giving him info, and it seems like even now they can stick together on different ops, and even with the Ash not being in play, and just work out just fine. The Legion will be identified by Joystick, and that's potential early pick, but right now they're just going to gather up and get information. Empire taking their time, and you see the bulletproof camera actually that's set up all the way at the other end of the hallway, and that's sometimes a position where you see a Maestro camera being set up because it can easily destroy all the pellets. This time it'll be fairly close to the wall here. The entry. Shate will be the first one to go, courtesy of Joystick.
Yeah, so making that Jackal work for him. And Shate, one of the most powerful players, definitely, on the defense, especially on a Maestro. No Evil Eyes, that's going to be rough moving forward.
Now look at the amount of time that's been wasted so far here. Not much, that's the thing. Joystick, can he find the angle? Not just yet. At least Empire will lose the Habana, but not before she opened up the sight from the back, and Joystick will reset his aim as Uno will go down. They lose the Legion and the Maestro. Of course, the Maestro cameras can no longer be changed positioning. Gomfi, Wookie, and Boonsy, the 3 players alive. The gas canister will be forced out from the smoke of Boonsy. Karjeka will get shot from the side as Gomfi has just immediately moved into the copy room. This is a similar thing that we saw Empire doing with Joystick. Just always, whenever there is ground to be taken, even on the defense, they walk into it and they hold it and make sure that their opponents will fight for every inch. And ENCE might be down, but they're not out just yet. Joystick, though, trying to change that as he comes in from the yellow stairs. Won't find a head early on, but there you go from below. Gomfi is down at 3 kills for Joystick. Can he find the last 2 to make it an ace clear? That's the question. He's low on health. There's only 2 left. He sprays right through the wall, and damage is done, but it's a PDW-9. The 9mm will not do much damage through that wall, even if it is soft. Walks in, he can't find the kill. Wookie and Boonsy collapse though, and they get a kill each. The fuser's not set. It's all up to Scyther now. Will Empire be able to clutch this one and get into Pro League, or will ENCE be able to stop them at least for 1 round? Scyther will be the one to decide. 15 seconds. You hear the announcer on it. Walking into the side of Scyther. Goes in for the long-range fight. The goo mine will give away his position, and the shotgun from Boonsy will dispatch him. ENCE, stay alive.
Incredibly tense round there. It almost looked like Empire was going to lock it out with 3 kills off the back of Joystick, but ENCE said no. No, we are going to keep ourselves in this map. An excellent job at that, but still 3 more rounds required to push it to overtime. They will go to the basement for their next site. We haven't seen them defend this site yet, of course, so this is going to be all new territory for both Empire and ENCE, which could, of course, drastically swing it in either team's favor. We won't know until we get into it. Operator selection, of course, going to be those dual hard destructors for Empire. That makes sense, given that it is a basement hold in all likelihood. And we will see a 6-pick off of a Bandit onto a Valkyrie. Curious from ENCE. The Bandit, of course, does tell the attackers, hey, we're defending basement. And 6-picking onto the Valkyrie will, yes, give you the cameras, but also maybe not the right operator for that.
All right, well, this is the garage. How will this work out for ENCE? And they're bringing the Maestro. Remind you that as you can tell, the Mira is banned, and it was banned by Empire, so none of that here. This is obviously a site where, you know, having the 2 hard breachers does help, but, you know, hey, if you're going to keep your thermite on the outside of the garage wall for the entirety of the round, you know, maybe it's better than just having the Habana as well. Who knows? There's a lot of things that you can do with these sorts of operators, but as well, having the Habana allows you to open up the hatches, and it'll give you extra info on the site. You're bringing Karashika on the sledge. You're also bringing Joystick with the ITA secondary for the Jackal, and I'm not sure if Scyther is bringing Zofia with breaching charges, but Zofia, no, it's a Claymore, there you go. But he already has 2 lifelines, explosive ones, and he can definitely use those on the floor if needed. But Empire will go in for a similar clear that we had before and walk in through admin, very much uncontested. There's nobody around here from ENCE, as they're all down in the garage.
Yeah. Standard roam clear here from Empire. They just got to be thorough. Make sure everything is clear. You know, of course, they can't know that most people are downstairs. Those roamers on the middle floor are going to be a pain, though. You can see how well set up they are. 2 ADSs even in the bathroom for Igomfi. Shock gets Uno, though, so good start for Empire. But we've seen this before. Empire got the 2 initial kills in the previous round, but still managed to lose it. And it will come down very likely to those anchors. Well, Evil Eye's in good position here, but Gomfi in a better position. He's able to put some damage onto Scyther, but not able to get the actual kill from the main lobby, though. The door will be opened up, and Gomfi forced to fall back. Surprised he's not dead, to be honest. He was exposed to many an angle there, but still managed to make it back into bathroom with his life. Mute Jammers, I think, are present still on the main garage, which means the thermite charge cannot be detonated. Yes, there are 2 Mute Jammers delaying that. Well placed from Wilkie, and needs to be something done from Empire to deny those Mute Jammers, but it's a slow clear onto the top floor. They really need to deal with Gomfi and then open up Piano, but they're taking this slower than I've ever seen them play.
Yeah, Shock's just standing on the outside, the entrance to the main lobby, and he's watching for potential walk-in from Gomfi. And Gomfi will take a lot of damage, but he will dish out a decent chunk to Shockwave. As holding in with a fully reinforced bathroom is a very complicated position. Yeah, just don't put your gun in your opponent's face. It's kind of 101 there, but Gomfi will fall off, and they can reset him if they want, but it's potentially a fight that'll come down within the next 20 or so seconds. I'm not sure if there we go. The garage will be opened up, at least one half of it. And Shepard can walk in if need be. Joystick will drop in and watch for any angles, rotations late in the game. A Joystick finds one on a Gomfi. 3 players alive from ENCE and Boonsy. What a shot. Shock will go down. Wilkie in by the black car as he peeks in. Sprays into 1, but too much for him to deal with. And Shepard will land the last kill. Boonsy will go down. And ladies and gentlemen, Empire have taken it. Congratulations, they make it into Pro League, and we'll see them in just a few weeks for the start of Season 9.
Excellent job to Team Empire. A wonderful clear onto the bottom floor there to finish things out. It was a little bit a little bit hectic there in the middle of the round when they got caught up on the roamers over by Bathroom. You thought to yourself, maybe Empire have lost it. Maybe they've, caught a nerve, and it's all looking bad for them because they're taking so slow, but they managed to make it work regardless. As soon as they had that top floor control, they opened up the vertical pressure, they pushed in through the garage. It was all Team Empire, Team Empire, Team Empire, and there was fight back from ENCE. But at that point, they had lost too much manpower, they had lost too many positions, and they couldn't win the fight.